Our guest on This is America and the World is the ambassador from the Republic of Haiti to the United States, Bocchit Edmond. The ambassador's 30-year career of service to the government of Haiti includes head of Haiti's diplomatic mission in London, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Minister of Tourism and Creative Industries. I met with Ambassador Edmond at the Embassy of Haiti in Washington. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for your hospitality today.
Thank you so very much for being here, Dennis, at the Embassy of Haiti in Washington, D.C.
Thank you. When you look at Haiti today, what do you see?
It's very difficult. It's a really tough question because looking at my country today, the way, we see it and the way we believe it should have been. But when we are looking at the current situations, it really saddens me. And then it's really pushed me to ask myself, and I believe a lot of Haitians are asking themselves, what would be the future like? If today we are such in a bad shape, when you're looking at the glorious history of this country, so resilient people, what we can do together, but unfortunately, it is not the case. Today, Haiti is really in a very dire situation.
Paint a picture for us of the average person in Haiti.
It would have been something very tough to do because the average citizen now, when you're taking into consideration the economic and financial situation so bad, and someone who's trying to live with $2 a day, it is not something that I believe someone who really wishes to live with dignity would have loved to be in the shoes of someone like this. But it is also important to say an average Haitian as well is someone who lives sometimes and most of the time with dignity, even trying to do the best, but really in a very tough situation. The real way I would have done so, I think to me it's really tough and it's really difficult. Yeah, but overall, it's really a challenging situation.
It's a poor country. You say $2 a day. Now chaos, violence, gangs. Who's running the country now? Is it the gangs or is it the government?
I would say the government is still running the country, but they are facing really tough challenges from the gangs because the gangs are well armed. The firepower are far superior than the national police. That's why every operation led by the national police always failed because we have lost so many police officers, and that's why I believe I wouldn't say the gangs are taking over, but they are on their way to take over if we don't find a way out with the help of our international partners.
When we talk about gangs, are we talking about numbers of how many gangs are there? There
are. It is estimated probably to be around 200 gangs.
200 gangs.
Yeah. But the capital, Port-au-Prince, is really surrounded with gangs, and as well in some parts of the country. But gangs probably depends on the size. We really don't know, but some are bigger than the other ones, or some are more armed than the other ones. But the fact that there's been a vacuum in terms of security, our national police is not able to cover or to get control of the entire territory. That really create that vacuum, so the gangs are filling them up. Therefore, when we talk about gangs, you see as well some groups that are being fueled by drug cartels. Because whenever the country is so in a chaotic situation, the drug business is flourishing.
Drugs.
Yeah. Therefore, the drugs cartels, they always want to finance and to fuel those gangs with arms and munitions so they can do their business as well.
Are the drug cartels operating within the country or from outside?
I believe from outside, but certainly believe they have some representative in Haiti.
So outside money, outside influence, also financed, I understand, by kidnappings.
Yeah, because they are also kidnapping as a big business for the gangs. That's a way, I believe, for them to survive, because if the financiers, those who are financing them, if they stop financing them, they need money. Therefore, they have to kidnap. And when they kidnap, the ransoms are so high most of the time, and I believe that's where they get their resources.
I understand as many as 1,500 kidnappings over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And the ransoms can be as high as $15,000, $20,000.
Ransom, there can be with $300,000.
Is that true?
Absolutely. It depends.
So that's millions and millions of dollars financing these
It's a
gangs.
big business. That's one of the reasons we believe that it is very important to tackle that, because it is. We understand it's a big challenge. It is not easy to fight, but if there is determination, if there is, if the national police is well equipped, well trained, and with a lot of best intelligence, I believe we can overcome that.
How have the gangs affected everything from transportation within the country, fuel, water, food, schools, hospitals?
Because of when it comes to the roads, the gangs, what they do, their strategy is to block roads. I mean, use road blockades.
That's when they set the tires afire or something like that?
Sometimes, some places they put big wall, they put, trucks, containers, they block them. And when it comes to the fuel, the main fuel terminal we have, one of the most notorious gang, they kidnap that area and they block every entries, and therefore there is no way our trucks can go out and to go and distribute the fuel to the gas station.
So now I hear gas is selling for $25 up to $50 a gallon.
As a black market, because the real market, the real way to get those fuels, they cannot get it because the gangs block the entire area with big containers, and they even dig trenches. So it is very difficult for big trucks to get out, and they're using the black market to do so.
They talk about food insecurity. That's a terrible phrase for people starving, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when we talk about food security, remember Haiti used to be a country where we used to produce a lot of agricultural products. We used to export a lot of them, but we still do exporting some products, but not enough for national consumption. That creates some food insecurity because of the fact there is not enough to be distributed to the entire territory. And some places, because of the drought and something, they cannot produce. And now the main issue is the fact that most of those organizations that work with those peasants, with those people from countries, helping them to produce or getting them some more help, they cannot do that because of the fuel situation. No one could travel, and the roadblocks from the city to the countries, it's something very difficult. Therefore, that has a direct impact on those people.
Are the schools open?
That's unfortunate. It saddens me to talk about my country that way. We are in 2022. To know kids cannot go back to school.
They're afraid.
Because of security reasons. Not only they are being kidnapped, not only the gangs, sometimes they kill randomly, and all those things. So now kids should have been going back to school in September. Now we are at the beginning of November. They still cannot go, and we don't know when they will be going back to school. And at the end of the day, it's very important to ask, but what kind of future are we going to leave for those kids if they cannot go back to school? So that's why it's very important to push for that and to make sure that the kids, they go back to school once security is restored.
Let us take a little break, Mr. Ambassador. Talk to the folks at home. Tell them we're having a very, very important conversation with the ambassador who represents the Republic of Haiti here in the United States. Jake and I, our producer, we were there in 2018 in the spring. I believe, for me personally, one of the best trips we've ever had. The people are absolutely warm, hospitable. The country has beauty like you've never seen before, but this is a tragic situation right now. Sit tight. Back on the other side, This is America and the World. This is America and the World is made possible by the Japan-America Society of Washington, D.C., the Republic of Uzbekistan, the Sultanate of Oman, the Kingdom of Morocco, 21st Century Citizenship, the Frank Islam and Debbie Dreisman Foundation, the Forerunner Foundation, the Rotondaro Family Trust, and the Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy. Mr. Ambassador, as I just mentioned, going to the break, we were there in the spring of 2018. We met with the President, Moise, did a wonderful interview at the palace. Assassinated in the summer of 2021, about a year and a half ago, something like that. What is the status of the investigation? What was the motivation for the assassination?
Up to now, it's still very difficult to know the real motivations and the real actors behind that horrific crime, the assassination of the president. And I must tell you that the assassination of President Moise was like a slap in the face of all Haitians, because he's the first citizen of the country. And for people to get all the way into his private room to kill him, that was really a big blow for us. But unfortunately, the investigation has not been to a conclusion yet. They are still, I believe the judge is still working on the case. Many people have been questioned. And I believe also some people were arrested and brought here to the United States because to some extent they have some links between their actions and some, U.S. Connections. Some of them are U.S. Haitian American. And I think the investigation is still going on, but it is sad to see still a year and a half we haven't got to the point yet where which the people, his family, they have to know who were behind such horrific crime or who should be held accountable. And then once we get that point, we believe justice will be served, and not only to the people of Haiti, but as well to the president family.
Is the United States in any way helping out in that investigation?
Yes, indeed. I believe from the FBI, been working with the Haitian authorities. Some of those arrests were made and brought here to the United States were done with the help of FBI and the Haitian National Police.
The current Prime Minister, Prime Minister Henry,
Yes.
how was he got his, how did he get his job? How did that happen? And was the United States on board with that, and should they be?
Listen, it seems to me when it comes to Prime Minister Henry, there's been so many.
Did you say Henry or Henry?
Henry is a neurologist. He has left
It's
politics.
a doctor,
He's
isn't
a doctor, yes. He has left politics for many years. He was only doing his practice. Up to now, he's still operating on people, up to now. Even though in the morning when he has time, he has to go to the hospital to do those surgeries. But he left politics for many years now. But when he was called upon by President Moïse, because President Moïse was really in a situation, very difficult situation with the opposition parties. And President Moïse wanted to have a prime minister who could, put many different forces of the opposition together. And finally identifying him, he could do that. And at the end of the day, President Moïse said, okay, if you can do that, your mission will be to put together all those opposition forces. And I'm the president, I really want to negotiate with them and to see if we could go to a national consensus on something. And you'll be leading the government. And the president named him. He was appointed prime minister by President Moïse. That's why we're still talking about legitimacy, because he was the one chosen by the president. Even though the president is no longer there, but at least he was chosen, he was appointed as an elected president.
So he appointed you to serve as ambassador here now?
President Moïse appointed me.
Appointed you, and you're serving under Prime Minister
Henry now,
Yeah. This is a delicate question to ask, but there are protests against him, aren't there? And people calling for his resignation. What's the story that we should kind of understand there?
I mean, it is not something new for Haitian politics, for a group of people or a part of the population calling for the resignation, either president or prime minister. This is something for my entire diplomatic career I've been witnessing, because this is my 31 years of service. I've been seeing all those things all the time. And it's part of a social dynamic, It's very difficult to find a society where everyone does agree on everything. There will be always some disagreement. There will be always some there will be differences between different groups and citizens and something. So having groups of citizens calling for the resignation of prime minister is a normal thing in democracy, because we have chosen democracy after 1986. Therefore, even though right now, that's why we always want to believe that it's very important to have elections once security and law restored, because we believe the people, they will have the only one that can, choose the legitimate authorities and to have legitimate institutions like parliament, like judiciary, and so on. So that's a part of life, having protesting against politicians.
President Moïse had called off elections, hadn't he? If I remember correctly?
No, he was planning to have elections because...
But there was elections scheduled and it didn't happen.
That did not happen because of the parliament then did not vote that law, that electoral law, that could have allowed elections to be held.
And the same is true now under the prime minister, that it is the Republic of Haiti, but there's no elections, huh? No elections, no parliament.
Yeah, that's why the main mission of Prime Minister Henry, given by President Moïse, was to hold elections. Now, to hold elections, the executive itself cannot decide of the date. That's why the prime minister is looking for a national consensus with different political parties for him to appoint a new electoral council. And that electoral council will be the only authority to decide of the date of elections.
I'm going to ask you a question which is very presumptuous on my part, but why isn't it like the United States where like every 4 years in November there's an election?
That's the way it should be in a democracy.
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying so very hard to reach that point, to have democratic institutions in place. Because all those things we are facing today, they are direct consequences of political instability. The fact that we've never been able to enjoy political stability for at least for an 8 years or 10 years period, this is the consequence of now. So the point we want to reach a point where all democratic institutions are stable. And according to our constitution, we do have elections every 2 years to renew the Senate, to renew the parliament, and the president every 5 years. But we understand that election costs too much. And that's why there was a plan. President Moise put it forward, a kind of revision of the constitution to see if we can have only one elections every 4 years, where we will elect our deputies, Congress, our senators, our local mayors, and the president every 5 years. Therefore, the president will be in office for 5 years, the Congress will be in office for 4 years, and the Senate as well. So there won't be any kind of every elections every 2 years. So we are working very hard to reach that point, but it's so difficult because of political divisions and turmoil.
I said it was presumptuous of me to put that on the table because if you look at the election we have coming up here in the United States, it's a pretty strange situation with election deniers from going back to 2020. So I'm saying, why should Haiti be any different?
That's why we believe democracy is something that needs to be nurtured every day.
Yeah, it's Columbus arrives in Haiti in 1492, and 1804, I believe,
we became independent.
Independent, and the first black country in the world.
Yeah.
For independence.
And the second oldest in the Americas after the United States.
But it's been a tough go politically all along, hasn't it?
Yeah, because of, and unfortunately, whenever we are talking about that, we need also to consider some historical facts. Because after independence, being the first black republic in the world, we faced a lot of challenges from other big power countries at that time. A lot of countries took a long time to recognize our independence. The United States took more than 30 years to recognize us as an independent country. France did not recognize us. We had to pay our kind of independence debt to be recognized. And we suffered in embargoes, in economic blockade. Our products couldn't go anywhere. So from the start, we were hit by a big economic blow that's destabilized us. And adding to that, we started to get some political instabilities has become something chronic as part of us, our political life. And then all those things combined are really giving us today what we are seeing. It's unfortunate.
You share an island with the Dominican Republic. Why is it that Dominican Republic seems to be more stable, more successful, Haiti's just struggling, and you share the same island?
Political instability, because remember, DR was sometimes in the past, and not too far ago, there used to know some political instability as well. But since '94, when the political leaders, when they decided to have a kind of global agreement on their political life, I believe between President Balaguer and a black leader called Peña Gomez. Ever since they started to enjoy that political stability, and then we have witnessed some very incredible economic growth. A lot of foreign investment came into their country. And that's why I believe Haitian politicians, Haitian stakeholders should look again at the Dominican Republic.
For information about This Is America in the World, visit our YouTube channel, This Is America TV, visit our website, thisisamerica.net, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen to all of our ambassador interviews on our podcast, The Ambassador Series. It's available on our website and iTunes. This Is America and the World is made possible by the Japan-America Society of Washington, D.C., the Republic of Uzbekistan, the Sultanate of Oman, the Kingdom of Morocco, 21st Century Citizenship, the Frank Islam and Debbie Dreisman Foundation, the Forerunner Foundation, the Rotondaro Family Trust, and the Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy.